Good evening and welcome to Arizona Illustrated for Thursday, the 13th of December, 2012. I'm Tony Paniagua. Education is said to be one of the top concerns for millions of people, and there's been a lot of talk about the need to emphasize STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Tonight, we meet a local resident who is doing her part to make a difference. Marana Middle School teacher Lynn Mitts was recently chosen as the new Science Teacher of the Year for 2012 by the Arizona Science Teachers Association. Lynn, thanks for being here.
It's great to be here.
So what inspired you to become a teacher, and especially a science teacher?
I had really great science teachers growing up in high school, and I felt like I wanted to kind of capture middle school students' interest, get them interested before they get to high school when they have more of those opportunities with science, just like what you were saying.
And we were speaking prior to this interview, you attended the University of Arizona, and you had contemplated doing something else, but then you kept getting drawn back to teaching. What happened?
All of my extra careers I did throughout school, just helping to pay for school and helping to pay the bills as I was in school, kept relating back to students. So working at a preschool, working as a nanny for a while, and then tutoring for a little while even. And so I kept realizing my interest kept going back to students, back to working with children.
So what do you think about this honor, this recognition from the Arizona Science Teachers Association?
I think it's amazing. I'm really grateful and appreciative of the support that the Arizona Science Teachers Association is giving to new students, or new teachers, I should say, because it's a really challenging career. It's very rewarding, but it's also really nice to be able to have the support and have the ability to kind of have some of those resources back.
So it must be tough to be dealing with dozens of children, and you're trying to get them inspired and educated along the way and accomplish many tasks. What is your approach? What is your philosophy?
My philosophy is really just to peek at their interest. If I can get them interested within the first 10 minutes of class, then you kind of have that hook to be able to continue on throughout that lesson and throughout that content that we need to be able to get them to learn. Mm-hmm. And so I do that through using things that they like already, whether it be clips of movies or different food examples. We did an example of Oreo mitosis this year where we broke apart an Oreo and then modeled the steps of mitosis using chromosomes as sprinkles. And it was great. They were able to tell me that mitosis copies our cells like skin cells do. And they're able to make exact duplicates.
And this is using Oreo cookies.
Oreo cookies, which then they get to eat at the end of class. And that's usually a big no-no for science. You can't eat in class, but that one day we kind of let that rule go for the day.
Great. And you also brought another example of what you do here with your students?
Yeah, this is actually an example of the notes that I do with them, and the pictures that we're able to kind of go through the steps of mitosis, and then they're able to kind of show their notes on the back, the colors and sprinkles and all of those different things that way they kind of have that record as we're going through that content, and they're able to kind of reflect back on that and kind of keep going with that. And this is actually, as I just showed it off, this is their science notebook. Throughout the course of the year, we go through every day, we do different worksheets in here, and I use different strategies like foldables, which they're able to keep track of their notes in a nice, organized, but also really neat way. And then at the very end, I got this tip actually from the association last year from a conference, where if you put packing tape over the back, it becomes a whiteboard. So now pretty much everything we use is just in this book, and it makes it really easy for them to keep track of, but then it also really helps engagement and all of those things too.
And we hear a lot about people who want to go into education and teaching, but they're so concerned about the long hours and the low pay. What would you say to somebody who's saying, maybe I should do this, but I'm not really sure?
I would say that the students make it worth it. Because really, at our school, we're able to do some fun extra things. And after school right now, we have these extra classes for enrichment. If students are interested in sports, they could go to a science class. And so for a while, I was teaching a forensics class, and I have a student look at me and say, I didn't know CSI was going to be this fun. This is amazing. And having that rewarding conversation with students really does make all the hours, all the effort worth it in the end.
And what keeps that enthusiasm going, as you mentioned? Is it the student's success, their progress along the way?
Seeing their progress, seeing the light bulbs come on, and having them realize that adaptations they've seen before in a movie like Finding Nemo actually do relate back to adaptations that we study in the 8th grade curriculum.
So right now you're teaching the 8th grade. Any idea long-term what you'll be doing, or have you not had time to think about that?
I haven't really had a lot of time to think about it. I love 8th graders right now, and I really like capturing some of that ability to still be children, but then also you can see at the end of the year, they're ready for high school.
All right, Lynn Mitts, new Science Teacher of the Year for the state of Arizona. Congratulations and good luck to you and your students.
Thank you so much.
Education, healthcare, and jobs are some of the pivotal topics that are scheduled to be addressed by Arizona's legislature when members begin their new session in Phoenix on January 14th. Tonight, Michael Chihak has an interview with some of your new representatives from this region who are getting ready to go to work at the state capitol.
Tell us the basic issues you ran on and what you consider to be most important here at the legislature.
Basically, the number one issue that I ran on was rural economic development. In my district, in LD8, it's almost completely rural except for the Santan Valley area of Pinal County, which considers itself fairly suburban. So we have communities with 15–20% plus unemployment in my district. And a lot of it has to do with not having diversified economies and being able to lure other types of businesses and other types of industries into those communities. I was awarded a vice chairmanship of the Commerce Committee, and I look forward to using that position to promote rural Arizona, not just in my district, but with the dynamics the way that they are, with close to 60% of our representation coming from the Phoenix area. It's important, I think, for rural Arizona, my district specifically, but also the rest of the state, to have a voice at the Capitol, and that's what I look forward to doing.
The key issues are just our education. I just think that our kids are not given the opportunities they should be given. We're not going to get in life where we want to be without educating our kids and doing what we can for them, regardless of what area they come from, rich, poor, or whatever. I think we need to focus more on the children because they are our future, and we want to better our future. And I think with that is starting with them K-8 programs. I mean, even in Head Start, giving them a great education will help us all. The other thing is healthcare. Healthcare. I work for an insurance broker, and I see what the fights that employers have out there with insurance, and what the fights that people have not being able to have the funds to really pay for it at the end of the day when they're barely making any money at work, and then when they have to get that money to come out of their check, it hurts them.
The reason I ran was because of the general economy and my conservative views that I wanted to do something, get involved, and hold the line on spending, and try to get government off the backs of small businesses as much as possible. So for me, it's about the economy and the budget and a limited government. How can we make the economy stronger, and what role does government play? And for me, it's making a very good playing field so that we can attract other businesses from other states, which would mean our tax base or our tax system and refining that. So I think that's going to be a big issue this year. Entitlements is going to be a big issue. Because we do have budgetary issues that are coming up that are problematic at 2 years down the road. So
one of the things that really inspired me to run for office, prior to running for office, I was the mayor for the city of San Luis, a small town, and a lot of times we would see a lot of the legislative issues come down the pipeline that really affect the small community. So I think this new district really paints a portrait of small rural Arizona, and I really want to be able to represent those small communities, and I feel that I bring that background to the legislature.
Key issues for you, what you'll be pushing at the legislature.
Well, I'm an economist. I work as an economist in the private sector. I will be serving as the vice chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. So whether it be tax policy, pro-economic growth, commerce and commercial policy and fiscal issues, cutting spending. It's all about understanding that the abundance of the free market really outperform the rationing of big government. And that's what our constituents wanted when they sent us to the legislature. They wanted to know that Arizona will grow even in the shape of a federal government that's starting to clamp down upon them. As states such as California become less business friendly, Arizona will become a much better place to do business, a much better place to raise your kids, and a much better place to live.
I am a Democrat, as you mentioned earlier, so I have to say I'm a little bit dismayed with some of the things that have happened in state politics. I am a former public school teacher and an advocate for public education. My master's degree is in third world development, women and children's issues. So those are also things that very much interest me. And of course, the economy and jobs. Well, we come from rural areas, and our district encompasses a lot of rural towns. I want to make sure that we're not forgotten and that we can have the economic development that's so important for our local economies.
What kind of an impact do you think that the federal budget situation, now they're calling it a fiscal cliff, will have on Arizona?
You know, we just had a meeting before I came here on the budget, and it could be, depending on what happens with Obamacare and how it's implemented and what's required, I mean, we could be facing 2 years down the road a large deficit, you know, up to $500 million. So what happens and how we deal with it is going to be very important.
They're taking money from education to put in other places. I think we need to figure out a way to stop taking money from education and get it from other areas. I mean, education should be at the top of our priorities. And I understand that it's a big portion of the money that's spent here in Arizona. But as legislators, we have to put our heads together and we got to figure out a way to do something to not take from them and make it a better place for them. I mean, for not only for the kids, for the teachers that are teaching.
And Michael Chihak will have much more about this topic on Arizona Week, which airs tomorrow night at 8:30 on PBS 6. The Tucson Wildlife Center has provided rescue and rehabilitation services for southern Arizona's wild animal population since 1998 by caring for injured or lost animals that have nowhere else to go. Next, we'll hear how this nonprofit organization has inspired a local singer-songwriter to honor the Wildlife Center. Here are Mark McLemore and his guests.
And joining me now is Tucson-based singer and songwriter Amber Norgaard, who has a story to tell about some inspiration she received from the Tucson Wildlife Center. And we have their education director, Joan Cass, joining us. And on her arm is Bubba, the owl, a great horned owl. We'll be talking more about Bubba in just a moment. Joan, tell me a little bit about the work of the Tucson Wildlife Center.
The Tucson Wildlife Center is a nonprofit. We rescue, rehab, and release injured and orphaned wild animals throughout southern Arizona. And we also educate the public about how they can help and how to call us and what they can do to stay safe around wildlife.
Well, how is it that Bubba came to be a more or less permanent resident at the Wildlife Center?
Bubba, when he was a baby, jumped out onto a branch that wasn't there and hit the ground, broke his left wing. Somebody brought him to the Wildlife Center, and we made him better. He could fly, and the problem is that he can't fly silently. Owls have to be silent flyers. So of the 700 animals that we got last year, most of them have been released back into the wild. Some of them cannot be. He's one of them, and he's one of our education birds. Other animals that can't be released act as fosters for our baby animals until they're ready to be released.
Does Bubba have any social contact with other owls at the Wildlife Center?
He has a buddy who lives in the same enclosure, another male great horned owl, who was hit by a car and cannot fly. And he's also an education bird.
And about how old is Bubba?
He came to us in 2001 as a chick, so he's 12 years old. So he's just a teenager.
So he's used for educational purposes, so he visits classrooms and does public appearances. So being on TV is no problem for him, right?
So far.
Well, Amber, tell us how you came into contact with the Wildlife Center.
I was actually playing down in Timocacri, Arizona, at a cafe called Wisdom's Cafe. And Marcus De Leon, who's a filmmaker, was down doing a shoot down there and had stopped in, heard my music, liked it, said he would be in touch with me. And sure enough, I had a meeting with him, and he said he's working on a documentary film series for the Tucson Wildlife Center, and asked if I'd be interested in writing some music for the films. And I was just truly honored and elated because, you know, wildlife to me is so important to our world, and it was just a blessing.
So is it easy for you to draw creative inspiration from the work they do there?
Absolutely. I grew up on a farm, so I was always in nature, and to me it's my connection, and hearing the stories from the Wildlife Center just really inspired me to be able to make a song. And I think I'm going to be making more.
Well, Joan, tell us about, at the Wildlife Center, you get animals from all over the Southwest. How does it work, I mean, in terms of the animals that you come in contact with?
Well, we know how to do a rescue, or the rescue is needed because we get a phone call. We answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be somebody there on Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving, and people call us. And then we talk with them about what the animal is, how badly it's injured, how best for us to get that animal back to our wildlife center.
And do you know the hotline number off the top of your head?
Well, there's a wildlife helpline, but our phone number is 290-9453.
What are the plans right now for the Wildlife Center to expand? I understand there's talk about building a hospital.
We, just a few weeks ago, did a groundbreaking for our new hospital. It's going to be a state-of-the-art medical facility for wildlife. The walls are going up right now. There's a little bit of dust and a little bit of noise, but it's really exciting. And I think that'll allow us to do an even better job of rescuing and releasing these animals.
Well, we know that the video that Marcus De Leon produced for your song is available online. We're going to provide a clip for people to see. And thank you so much for spending your time with us today and for introducing us to Bubba.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I came broken, yet found my way on an unfamiliar road, nearing the close of the day, and the unexpected lines drawn by the hard hand of fate somehow drew us here in this story that could not wait. Now I spread my wings, I go there, back to my home where nothing separates the land and the air. It's where I come from, it's all that I know. It's the freedom, the freedom, the freedom of letting go.
Millions of people around the world have heard about Brazil's impressive music and captivating carnivals. But this large and diverse South American nation has also been exporting other cultural traits. One of them is thriving here in Tucson and many other cities in different countries.
All right, this is Capoeira Mandinga, Tucson. My name is Ann Pollock, and my capoeira name is Contura Mestra Luar do Sertão. So I've been doing capoeira now for 25 years. When I found capoeira, I quit dancing because I found that in addition to the expressive movements, there's also the whole cultural aspect of it and the music and so many things that touched different parts of my brain and my heart.
Sweet, go. Over my, yes.
Mr. Lobão came and taught us a workshop last night, and this morning
put your hands flat.
He was able to give us, even in the short time we had, a really awesome experience with capoeira, and then we had a roda, the circle in which you play capoeira. For me, having Mestre Lobão here is really special. I have been down to his academy. I spent 6 weeks there at one point and trained there and went with him to all of the different classes that he taught and in poor communities and wealthy communities, and really saw how he gives to his community.
My name is Everaldo Bispo, nickname Mestre Lobão. I started capoeira 45 years ago in Itabuna, Bahia. Capoeira, ela foi criada no Brasil pelos negros.
Capoeira was created first in Brazil by the slaves brought from Africa. At first, that's why it was prohibited, because they created to play, they start to play to escape from the slavery, because they used to work many hours a day with no payment. It was a way to escape from the slavery and also to protect themselves from their masters.
Como bandidagem. A pessoa ela começa a conhecer toda a história da
Capoeira songs basically tell the story, capoeira story, about slavery, about the whole time they had in slavery and the whole capoeira history. It's written on the songs, capoeira songs. So even if the masters don't teach the students, they will learn because of the songs, because it's written and they listen that all the time.
My name is Claudia Alejandra Alvarez, and I am a second-year medical student at the A.T. Still University School of Osteopathic Medicine in Arizona. And I wanted to start capoeira in Tucson, as I had previously seen when I visited the city. It is my outlet for me from all the rigorous and strenuous studying time that I have to do. It is part of my healthy lifestyle choice of being able to exercise my heart and my body and my mind. And it is a great means for me to take a break and just focus on the rest of myself and be able to take care of myself holistically, right? As body, mind, and spirit.
Well, my name is David. My capoeira nickname, my apelido, is Fechicero. It means wizard, shaman, sorcerer. I joined it for the physical aspect first, but then as time went on, I met some really great friends who are as close to me as brothers and sisters now. So it became less physical and then more social, my social outlet for me. It's made me better as a person, health-wise, physically, mentally, spiritually, and it covers so many things that I can't really foresee myself divorcing myself from it.
Esquiva, vingativa. Eu acho que isso é uma honra, porque
it's an honor to be here, and especially because nobody believed capoeira would be taking that proportion around the world.
Ninguém imaginaria.
People from different cultures and different ranks in life and different levels of wealth being able to get along. And so that really drives me, and makes me want to find a way to be able to bring these different communities together. And I found that capoeira is a really wonderful mechanism for doing that.
Now we go to our weekly segment from Damian Klinko, who is the president of the Tucson Historic Preservation Foundation. He brings us intriguing and educational information about some of the many cultural and architectural treasures in our region.
Hotel Congress is one of Tucson's oldest continually operating businesses. It's the heart of downtown and a dynamic example of historic preservation. The landmark hotel was designed by California architect William Curlett and built in 1919. Curlett also designed the Rialto Block and the 1917 Santa Rita Tower addition, which was demolished last year to make way for the new Tucson Electric Power Unisource building. Hotel Congress was built directly across from the Southern Pacific Railroad station to serve the growing cattle industry and discriminating railroad passengers. The Hotel Congress of the 1920s was a perfect haven for genteel travelers. In 1934, a fire started in the basement of the hotel and quickly spread to the third floor. The fire led to the only arrest of one of the country's most wanted criminals, John Dillinger. After a string of bank robberies, the Dillinger gang arrived to Tucson to lay low. The gang checked into the 3rd floor under aliases. The gang escaped the fire by aerial ladders. On the urgent request of 2 of the gang members, 2 firemen retrieved their luggage. It was later discovered their bags contained a small arsenal and $23,816 in cash. The firemen later recognized the gang in a True Detective magazine. A stakeout ensued, and they were captured at a house on North Stone Avenue. In the space of 5 hours, without firing a single shot, the police of Tucson accomplished what the FBI and numerous agencies had been unable to do. The captured Dillinger muttered, "Well, I'll be damned." After the fire gutted the 3rd story, architect Roy Place was hired to redesign the building. Place, whose other work included the Pink Dome Pima County Courthouse and many of the historic buildings on the University of Arizona campus, developed a design that maintained the original design intention, but replaced the 3rd floor with a rooftop deck. The roof-mounted and steel-frame neon sign was added. Construction of individual steel block letters festooned with single-tube flat-block neon. The sign is a Tucson icon, a glowing reminder of Tucson's past. Throughout the hotel and tap room are drawings and etchings by famed local cowboy artist Pete Martinez. The hotel remains an incredible amount of its original historic fabric and has a vivid sense of place. The original flooring, neon, copper-clad and transom storefront windows contribute to the charm of this beloved Tucson landmark. This hotel was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2003 and is the center of downtown Tucson's culture and activities, featuring cutting-edge music and art. If you get a chance, take a moment and walk through the lobby and take in one of Tucson's great places.
You can get more news and information on our website, azpm.org. To comment on any story you saw tonight, click on it online and go to the bottom. We can also be reached via Facebook and Twitter. Coming up tomorrow night on the Arizona Political Roundtable with Jim Nintzel, we'll talk about the proposed school closures in Southern Arizona's largest school district. And there's a movement by some supporters to get Congressman Raul Grijalva a new job in President Obama's cabinet. I'm Tony Paniagua. From all of us at Arizona Public Media, have a great night.